You're fired. This is the phrase that millions of Americans know Donald Trump being famous for on his reality television show, The Apprentice. Millions of Americans loved the drama brought by the reality show, but should we expect a similar drama to be brought into American politics? Donald Trump announced his run for President of the United States of America 2016 back in June. As Trump continues to gain momentum within the Republican Party, more and more people begin to question whether or not we're turning America into a reality show, or if we should leave the politics between the politicians. I'm pretty involved in current events. I like to keep up to date with all of the political happenings within America and all of the major happenings within the world. I like the presidential campaign so far for the 2016 election. I think it's very interesting, and I think that the campaign strategies for Donald Trump only add to that interest factor. Whether or not that's a good thing, that's up for you to decide. First, I will explain how Donald Trump became the powerhead he is today by his start in real estate development. Then, I will talk about Donald Trump's love affair with attention. Finally, we will do some digging to see whether or not Donald Trump's ideas hold up in a realistic view for the next President of the United States. First, let's see how Donald Trump became the powerhead that he's known for today. Donald Trump started as a real estate developer from New York, and Trump's father had him interested from a young age. Frederick Trump, Donald Trump's father, was the starting inspiration for Donald Trump's love for real estate. Frederick Trump built and developed real estate all throughout New York. Trump was a frugal and humble man, even though he built a $300 million empire. According to CNBC's Tracy Rosen, close friends and family often referred to Trump as coming into work in a natty suit and often performing carpentry work to aid his fellow carpenters. Donald Trump worked hand in hand with his father until he decided to branch out and take a risky business move and open his own apartment complexes in West Manhattan. That same risky business move ended up making him into the multi-billionaire that he is today. As we all know, Trump grew up pretty privileged. Even though Trump's father was humble, Donald Trump himself is not so humble. During his recent run for the 2016 presidential candidate, Trump has been more open about his rough beginnings. So he says during a CNN interview, "Many people assume that Donald Trump is completely self-made, but he did in fact have a lot of help from his father, Frederick Trump. That exact amount of help, you ask? Well, a small loan of $1 million. This small loan, quote said by Donald Trump, has been a hot topic discussed in current politics because Donald Trump is claiming to be completely self-made. However, Trump does admit to, in fact, being turned down multiple times before his ultimate accomplishment in building the Trump Towers in Manhattan, New York, back in 1989. In a 2015 interview with Today's Matt Lauer, Trump discusses the triumphs that he accomplished as a rising real estate developer. He explains that $1 million isn't very much in comparison to the empire that he built. In some aspects, this is true. As of October 25th, 2015, Donald Trump's net worth is $4.5 billion, according to Forbes. So is $1 million very much in comparison to the empire that he's built? Some would argue not. Though Trump's claim is that his entire life has been a no, it is hard to look away from the fact that he is indeed more privileged than a majority of individuals across the world, and specifically across America. According to Feeding America Hunger study in 2014, the most recent government data suggests that 46.7 million people in America are currently living in poverty. This is about 15% of the population. The difficult part would now be to decide which is the more difficult life. Trump has taken quite a bit of heat for his comments about a hard life, especially due to the fact that the poverty line is the highest that it's ever been. And the fact that Trump is only looking to give more tax cuts to the wealthy, and to take away more welfare benefits from the poor. Well, now that we've looked at where Donald Trump started, let's look at where his love attention started. His love affair with attention started. Donald Trump is known for his love affair with attention. It started whenever his reality television show skyrocketed and smashed the NBC rankings in early 2004. The show consisted of individuals competing against each other to win a spot to work next to Trump in his business. After 14 seasons of the drama-filled reality television show, Trump left his spot only to announce a bigger and better news that brought him more attention by announcing that he would be running as a candidate for the 2016 presidential election. During his recent presidential campaign, Trump has made many sexist, racist, and homophobic comments. Many people are curious to see whether or not these comments are made towards the minority groups because he only wants to derive more attention towards his audience. A few of his most sexist comments attack women at the basic fact that they're women and the basis at how they look. Notably, after the first Republican debate, Trump attacked one of the debate moderators on August 7, 2015, during a CNN interview with Don Lemon, by saying that you could see that there was blood coming out of her eyes, blood coming out of her wherever, implying that Megyn Kelly was on her period during the time of her debate. Trump also made bashes towards Kelly on Twitter, saying that Kelly is a bimbo. What many people do not remember is that Rosie O'Donnell, in Donald Trump's feud back in 2006, Trump also made several comments bashing her appearance. He referenced O'Donnell by saying that she was a fat pig. Of course, this also brought loads of attention to Trump, which only fueled the fire. Of course, the most talked about campaign strategy that Trump has talked about is his thoughts on immigration. In a CNN interview on June 28, 2015, Trump discusses how he's going to build a wall separating Mexico and the United States of America. During the same CNN interview, Trump also discusses how Mexicans are only killers and rapists whenever referring to whoever is going to be coming into our country. This love affair with attention can cause issues if Trump does win the primary election, because some are afraid that this may lead to a xenophobic society. As you can see, there are many reasons that the presidential campaign of Donald Trump may be concerning. I explained to you how Donald Trump started building his empire by developing real estate, and I also showed you his love for attention. Now, hopefully by reviewing the general thought process of how Donald Trump thinks, you can make an informative decision on who should run our country, and hopefully we won't be faced with having to say, "You're fired" to the elected candidate.